All right, so for XRP, this is the count that I'm running with here. I'll explain what this means in just a sec, but we have to also take into consideration that XRP and Ripple have been going through a lot of court cases and court battles, etc. So the price action hasn't exactly been very easy to read. But I'm going to do my best to present my view. So the first move up since March 2020 was a week 5 wave move, right? So this can only be followed by an A wave, right? Now, this looks like a 5 wave move down, but it's not. If you dissect the pattern, you'll see that this move right in the middle here, the sharp move, was a zigzag, followed by a one wave E up 5 wave move, and then basically that move that ended the move down the bottom here. That's an A wave type 2 zigzag. Bounce for B, down for C, right? There's 5 waves in there if you count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there. And then we had a D wave up. So the D wave up. So from what I can see here is that there was too much fast price action happening too quickly, and we needed a wave E, right? Now that wave E is the one that can take a long time to unfold if it's the largest pattern in the correction, right? So for me, this explains why we're seeing the type of price action we're seeing now. It's basically very uncertain. It is, right? But I believe that this is the best way to read it. So I believe this is wave one right here. It's a zigzag. Uh, we had a wave two, and then another zigzag wave three, right? Now, initially thought this was a 5 wave move. Now, I've since changed that to be a very complex wave A zigzag pattern, which means you had basically a weak 5 wave move for wave A, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by a fairly short wave B, and then a wave Z for the end of the wave A zigzag. Now, being a weak 5 wave move in general for the whole pattern, this is allowed, and it's also part of alternation, right? I understand this pattern is completely crazy, but this is wave E's for you. They can be this crazy, right? So this is based on AriasWave. It's not based on AliasWave, because with AliasWave, good luck trying to understand what this is. You'd probably call it a double flat or triple zigzag or whatever crap that they come up with. In AriasWave, there's no such thing as a triple zigzag, or these flat patterns just mean basically a sideways correction, which is ridiculous. But anyway, all corrections have A, B, C, D, E according to AriasWave. So this is a wave E that's complex, unfolding within wave four. Massive alternation between wave 4 and 2. 2 was short and sharp, wave 4 being extended for quite some time, right? Ongoing. Now, this here is why I believe XLM still has lower to go. Now, I'll show you another chart in a sec about the XLMXRP crosspair, just to show you what I can see there. But in general, I think that the move down since the end of the wave A is a 5 wave move. So I'm of the opinion that we cannot go above this particular level here, right? This particular level right here, I'll just mark it out until we see a complete zigzag down, wave B, right? Now, obviously, these waves should get smaller from this point in terms of the corrective pattern. So the B should be smaller than the wave A. When wave A is the largest, the other patterns tend to be smaller, and they might even eventually form like a triangle pattern, which will then produce the final thrust down before then a reversal back to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm sort of thinking and seeing based on what I've seen in these waves before. Is that this particular pattern we're looking at now? It looks like A B C A. Look, the B wave within the B wave could also be ongoing, unless we break this high up here at 0.747 roughly. Look, regardless of any of these internal corrections, which I won't cover in this video, probably as I go along, and once you understand that this is the type of view I have, then I can then start looking smaller degree and pulling apart each wave. But for now, you just got to understand that there's obviously 3 waves in a zigzag, right? But the internal B wave has also 5 waves in reverse. Okay, so that's AriasWave. And so you might have seen an A for now, you might be seeing a B still unfolding, right? If we break that mini high, as I said, then the B may not be happening at the moment. We might just see the end of this zigzag and a move lower for wave B. But the point is that we need to see a move lower for wave B. So this correction is by no means over yet. That's the main takeaway here. After we see a B, we need to see a C, D, E, and then the zigzag to complete the move, and that's it. It's done, right? But how long do you think that's going to take? Do you think it's going to happen in the next month or two? I would say probably the next 6 months, right? Maybe even leading up to the US elections, something might happen by then. But we need to continue to monitor these waves. And if they continue to produce the type of results that we're looking for in terms of expected move, then we can sort of say, okay, this is likely the scenario that's happening. If for some reason the waves do something that they shouldn't be, like for example, break that high that I've just pointed out here before we see this move down, then obviously then there's something wrong with the view, and potentially we'd have to consider that maybe this was a B wave, even though it looks like a 5-wave move. I don't consider it a zigzag at the moment on its own. I consider it part of a zigzag, but a break of that high may confirm that, hey, look, that was a B, then we got a C, and then we may only need a D, E before we see that last zigzag down. Okay, so that's how I'm feeling this. That's how I'm gonna work it moving forward. Obviously, any break above that 1.967 area, whatever, is obviously going to signify the end of this correction, and that the previous count may have been correct, right? The one where I said, well, I don't think I presented that view. I just waited and waited to see what alternatives I could come up with. So the other view was potentially we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except this doesn't look like a 5-wave move in general, in total, right? And I think would be a little bit too early if we just decided to look at it that way. I think that the reality is here that this is going to take a bit more time. So whether you believe that or not, whether you're ready to basically could be completely bullish on this thing, I do believe price must go. If we're going to look at this count in this particular way, price must go back down to at least the last low to go. Well, actually, it depends where any corrective patterns end. If any corrective patterns end below the end of the wave 3, then wave 5 must go below those corrective patterns as well, right? But if the corrective patterns stay in this range, and then the wave 5 is the last move, you must make a move down below 30 cents or 29 cent, that last low back in June 2022, to complete the correction. But that should be roughly all it falls down towards, no lower. I don't see it really going much lower than that. So potentially we can go 50% lower from here, right? From current levels, maybe just a tiny bit more than 50%. Right, so that's my current view on this one. It looks like we've still got a bit longer to go in this correction because wave E still appears to be in wave 4, right? And if we're going to assume that wave 3 starts off with this type of choppiness, then you need to go back and look at how wave 3 start. Usually they go wave E done, boom, right? None of this stuff, because you could expect this type of choppiness in wave 1, right? Which we did sort of weak wave 1, but for the start of a wave 3, it doesn't really begin like that, right? And now I know there are sometimes exceptions to the rule, etc., but not typically not in this particular way. So that's my 2 cents on this matter, and I hope to bring you an update on the smaller degree count in the not so distant future. Thanks for watching.